In the previous episode, the past timeline revealed a unique gamma-ray mimicking device created by Dr. Suzuki, which was used to lure Godzilla into Hataroma, aka Monster Island, allowing Bill, Keiko, and Shaw another chance to have a close encounter with the king of the monsters. However, Shaw's growing feelings for Keiko resulted in him temporarily abandoning his post in Monarch, which resulted in a change in leadership as the military of the United States took over the organization in his absence. In the present timeline, May has betrayed the team by working as Duvall's informant. It is also revealed that Duvall is the late Sandra Brody's sister, and as a victim of Titan's emergence, she has become disenchanted with Monarch's apparent ineffectiveness regarding Titan's situation. As a result, she turns her back on the organization and breaks Shaw free, who has his own agenda to fulfill as he convinces the Randa siblings to join them in the search for Hiroshi. The group is able to find Hiroshi, who is seen using the same gamma-ray device to lure Godzilla, whose emergence causes a ruckus, destroying the tailing Monarch chopper with Tim inside of it. Differing motivations cause Shaw to part ways with the Randa kids, and eventually, a remorseful May confesses about her betrayal of Kate and Kentaro. As the series comes closer to the finale, even more MonsterVerse connections are explored through the characters involved, striking a perfect balance in the human-monster narrative progression. As the beginning of the episode takes viewers to the Algerian desert where Monarch's chopper crash-landed, it is revealed that Tim was the sole survivor. The scene moves to Tindouf Airport, where Kate, Kentaro, and May prepare to return. The revelation of May's betrayal has affected the Randa siblings, and in their way, they have coped with the news. While Kate is concerned with learning Hiroshi's modus operandi, Kentaro has become jaded and blames their father for abandoning them. In the meantime, May gets abducted by a couple of shady-looking agents, who fly her out of the country. There were indications provided in the course of the last 6 episodes that May might have been involved in a situation that not only threatened her own life but also endangered her family. That was the reason she was forced to leave her home and eventually made a deal with Duvall to rat on the Randa siblings' whereabouts. It turns out that May had been hiding from some influential people, and in doing so, she covered up her identity. The episode takes us 3 years back in Seattle, where master programmer Cora Mateo May's real name gets roped into a lucrative job offered by Applied Experimental Technologies, AET, Chief Brenda Holland. More than the exorbitant amount of salary, Brenda's promise, that joining their company will allow her to help physically challenged people, piques Cora's interest, and she agrees to take up the job. Months later, Cora is dissatisfied by the seemingly docile nature of her job, as Brenda's promise of providing her a chance for the greater good seems to be a misdirection. To add to her confusion, her programming skills have also been used in a certain cybernetic neural enhancement without her knowing the details or reasons involved, which makes her suspicious about Brenda's motive. When her efforts to have an honest conversation about all this get shot down by Brenda, Cora takes it upon herself to venture into the rabbit hole and discovers the horrifying truth behind the AET. She finds out that the cybernetic enhancements, which became operational due to the code she wrote, were being used as contraptions on captive animals who were being tortured. A crestfallen Cora decides to sabotage AET's database and eventually becomes their target. This was the reason she left her home, changed her identity, and settled in Japan, until fate, or specifically, Monarch-related affairs brought her under AET's radar once again and she was abducted by them. As the realization dawns upon Kate and Kentaro that May's life might be in grave danger, they find a battered-up Tim, who somehow made his way to the airport from the desert. Initially, Kate suspects Monarch's involvement in May's abduction, but Tim dismisses her accusation and defends Monarch's position as a peacekeeping organization, contrary to her assumptions that it is a secretive government group plotting against the rest of the world. Their conversation with Tim further reveals Hiroshi's curiosity surrounding the majestic creatures and humility to accept humanity's insignificant place in the vastness of nature inspired Tim a lot. Traits that were inculcated in him by Bill and Keiko. As for Hiroshi's motive, Tim assumes that he is trying to stop another Titan emergence and, hence, tracking Godzilla across the globe. The conversation eases Kate's frustration a bit, and she asks Tim's help in finding May in exchange for Shaw's whereabouts, whom Monarch is trying to track down desperately. After a chat with Verdugo, Tim agrees to help the duo and also shares secrets about May's true identity with them. After all, it was already revealed that Monarch was aware of May's past, which is why Duvall was able to make a deal with her in the first place. Kate and company arrive in Seattle at May's household, and her family seems oblivious to her current situation, everyone except her sister, Lyra. A conversation with her reveals AET to be the culprit, and before reaching their HQ, Tim uses a citywide Titan alert system to cause momentary panic among the masses, which allows the team to infiltrate with ease. The chief of AET, Brenda, reveals that she is aware of May's recent globetrotting adventures involving Titans, and seeing her friends come to rescue her, she gets excited as the company's large-scale plan involves using the cybernetic neural enhancement on a creature like Titan. She plans to allow May to go scot-free, but in reality, she will use her as an informant, detailing all the Titan-related findings she can learn from the Randa siblings. Already repentant for her past actions, May refuses to act as someone else's puppet any longer, and as Kate, Kentaro, and Tim arrive to rescue her, May promptly sends them away. In the meantime, irritated by Tim's Titan alert stunt, Verdugo arrives in Seattle and takes the team along with her, only to be coerced by Kate to make a deal with AET to gain May's freedom in exchange for information involving Shaw. By now, Shaw's influence on Monarch's renegade team and Duvall has started to shape up disastrously, which we will discuss later. Anyway, Verdugo accepts Kate's proposal and convinces Brenda to allow May to gain her old life back. What follows is an emotional reunion, as May returns to her family after a long period and later rejoins Kate and Kentaro out of gratitude. Adhering to Tim's suggestion, Verdugo decides to make Monarch's existence public and, through a sincere speech, delineates the organization's role in the context of human-Titan relations. However, secretly, Verdugo's bargain with Brenda involved providing information regarding Titans, and it is revealed that AET's secretive division is Apex Cybernetics, which was responsible for creating Mechagodzilla in Godzilla vs. Kong. On the other hand, emboldened by Duvall's team of renegade members of Monarch, Shaw sets a destructive plan in motion. Shaw takes control of Monarch's outpost in Alaska, and Agent Barnes, who manages to flee from the outpost in the nick of time, informs Verdugo about the situation. The reason to seize the particular outpost is revealed when Shaw gathers a significant amount of explosives stashed in the facility and takes it close to the mysterious rift that he had noticed while escaping from the Frost Vark, along with the Randa siblings. The glowing, radiating rift seems to be a pathway or sinkhole that leads to Hollow Earth, and Shaw commands his troops to set charges around it. Using the Titan's heat-seeking ability, Shaw manages to lure out the Frost Vark, and as it comes to the rift's proximity, the explosive charges initially cause massive destruction. As a result, a tumultuous situation arises as the rift implodes into a singularity-type phenomenon and, almost like a vortex, starts to pull everything close inside it. After a fiery explosion, the surrounding area, the chopper that lured the Titan, and the Frost Vark are nowhere to be found, apparently destroyed in the severe impact, and Shaw lets out a triumphant, almost maniacal laugh in response. Thank you for joining us on this journey. And I hope you enjoyed the episode of Monarch, Legacy of Monsters.